I'm here with Abe Dinkus right now, the one and only Abe Dinkus, you know.
Top hats, dusty coats, torn and frayed. 6 feet under, but he ain't gonna stay. Stomping the ground like a thunderous quake. Honest Dave's back for America's sake. He's carving truth with a fiery hand, splitting lies like he split the land. Rails to freedom, the hammer still pounds. Resurrected, Abe Lincoln shakes the ground. Bloodstained history sees it all. From the courthouse steps to the Capitol halls. A phantom voice with a justice demand. He is here to lead, but not to hold hand. He's carving truth with a fiery hand, splitting lies like he split the land. Rails to freedom, the hammer still pounds.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Abe Lincoln shakes the ground.
So, tonight, my thought is, I'd like to do a show where I can invite people up and we can talk about the current state of affairs. You see, between all the riots and the news that's come out about Signal and the planning around all of the rioting and protesting and tracking ICE agents, there has also been the release of Epstein files, which, of course, some media is blowing up as though it tells the true character of all the people that we've seen. And yet, it seems they're just misquoting like crazy out of these files. Things like an anonymous call or an unsworn testimony, right? A call in, a tip from a phone call. And I must question those because, well, if anything, over the last few years, we've seen quite a few allegations from anonymous sources. And even the ones for credible sources that have come out have turned out to be less than trustworthy. So, I figured tonight would be a good time before the week starts anew, right? It is Sunday, but the work week, Monday, is tomorrow. I figured maybe I'd open up a panel so people could tell me what they think about all these things that are going on in this nation of ours. Because, well, I think people probably need to talk. Good to see you, Amagod. Good to see you, Nate. Good to see you, Nexus. Good to see Don't make... Hold on, my mic is on the fritz. Okay, so, don't make me call you F-slurs in Abe's stream. Thank you, Nate. I appreciate it. Sorry for the issue with the mic. It keeps doing this. Disconnect, reconnect, or disconnect, stay disconnected. And then I have to figure out how to reconnect it. I don't know why it's doing it. I don't know if it's my M-game audio interface or if it has to do with the computer itself. I switch it to USB and it works just fine. But if I turn it to its XLR, it keeps stopping its own function, which all I can think of is that is a product of the board. Because the XLR goes through the soundboard, the USB does not. The USB goes directly to the computer, and it seems to stay connected just fine. So, I suppose we'll figure it out over time, but yeah. I'll keep fiddling with it. And hopefully, it allows me to use it correctly. So, with that being said, I will throw out a link, and some of you can come up and discuss what you think is the truth of the situation going on. Is this an insurrection? Is this an insurgency? Because, if anything, we have seen that Tim Pool and others have interviewed many people who have come right out with it and said, this is an insurrection or this is an insurgent. Now, I will say for myself, I have seen true insurgency in the Middle East, and, well, I can't say this doesn't look exactly, or at the very least, very similar. So, that being said, oh, thank you for reminding me, Nate. Nate with a big 5 says, don't forget to use Cash App or Ko-Fi. Give Abe instant support. So the difference is, those Ko-Fi and Cash App come directly to me. Super Chats go through AdSense, and AdSense holds them for a month. Well, actually, anything gained from 1 month is given on the 21st of the next month. So, with that being said, yes, I will pin it. Thank you for the reminder. Oh, I can't do it from there. That's silly. I do it on this window. And miss it. There we go. Anyhow, I figure maybe you ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen at this point, would like to talk about it. Tell me what you think. Do you see this as an insurgency, an insurrection? Or do you just see it as protesting and rioting, or protesting with hints of riot? But I think if you look closely, you'll see some telltale signs that it's more. So, here we go. Now make sure you don't try to screw up the stream. If you're going to come up, have a little respect and decency. Use some tact. Because I don't want to have to permaban people, unless it's really necessary. I'm here to give you a good discussion. The least you can do is reciprocate. There is a link. We're not talking about any specific individual. We're talking about the state of the country, the state of the nation, the state of the union. You see, with all of this ICE deportations of illegals, there is a huge mass of people in our streets seeking to... we have someone in the back. A very good guest here. Nate, it is wonderful to see you.
You too, man. I woke up for the end of Andrew's debate and decided that I needed to jump on here and talk to specifically your crowd as well about some of this stuff. But wait, and let me get the details out of the way. So just so you're aware, on the Cash App and Ko-Fi link, you need to put a separation in between the two, because it tries to link you to Cash App but doesn't go to you because of the Ko-Fi link that's tied in at the bottom. It confuses it.
Oh, thank you. I will fix that.
Yeah, so I would actually separate them out by like hitting the return key and
Yeah.
putting a full space in between. Anyway, um, and then you guys, Abe cares more about the future of this country than he does about this channel, but he can't get the views out to the country without growing the channel. So we need to encourage him to not be so bashful about asking for the financial support, because otherwise we can't have his calm, fatherly tone out there giving us the good fight, right? Anyway, that's got to happen for that. On current events, the, I've shared with you a couple of the other places that I do listen to and that I pay attention to for different reasons, right?
Yep.
Um, we are. It is definitely an insurrection, but it's not just a political insurrection. It is spiritual warfare to the nth degree. The accelerationists are winning. That's the bad part. There are a lot of the people that we colloquially call rhinos or neocons that say they're on the right, but seem to always vote or seem to always back our opposition, right? Well,
Yep.
they're accelerationists, and they are winning. We are quick approaching. I do I hold on to hope that we have a little time to be able to uh, win rhetorically and politically and actually make arguments to be able to convince people to straighten stuff out, right?
Yep.
But that that hard fast line is coming quick, and I don't see it so much as a hard fast line as a hidden 18-inch step that you're just gonna fall off of because you're expecting flat on the other side, right?
Absolutely. It reminds me of the
So
Civil War, Nate,
yeah, well,
because they didn't
yeah,
know they were in the
Civil
Civil
War was
War until it was
war.
long started. They didn't realize Bleeding Kansas kicked it off. They didn't realize all the events leading up were the things that made it come to pass. And I wonder, do we
Right.
realize where we're at?
I don't. I feel like the opposition does. I feel like the opposition does, which is why they're pushing all these public insurrections so hard, right?
Yep.
We're seeing we're not hearing anything about Maine, right? But Maine is also seeing a lot of antagonistic behavior the toward the ICE and their detention facility, right? We're not seeing anything about it, but it's happening. Ask Zach Gelty, right?
Yep.
By the way, he is not one of those accelerationists that I talked about.
Good.
He is not. He may have different views about stuff, but he is not an accelerationist by any means. He actually wants to have the U.S. that that feels like the late 80s and early 90s when things felt like they were getting better, right? Okay.
Yep.
But if we don't start putting local people, and this is the hard thing because it's like a 15-20 year process if we hit it hard, but if we don't start putting in local people who understand how the national level communications actually affect the local area and can counter that in the city halls, in the county seats, in the state level, and it needs to start at the city hall so that there's enough backing for this county, and then 5 years later for the states before we can actually start going into the House and Senate on the national level, right?
Right.
But all of those things have to be in place before we can actually start replacing the bureaucrats with people who are not accelerationists.
Real people.
Real people. Real people. We need to get rid of the bureaucrats, but the bureaucratic class is going to exist, whether it's 250 people or if it's 250 million people employed by the government, right?
Yep.
It is going to exist. We have to have the right people in elected office to affect the changes on the bureaucratic class. Anyway, but if we don't start doing it yesterday, and we need this urgency. Every one of your city halls, every one of your everything down to your city and county clerk, man. They need to be Christian conservative and constitutionally minded, right?
Yep.
And in the long run, you need someone who can actually articulate and defend this. Given the modern ideas and understanding of personhood, we can abolish all of the amendments beyond the 10th, right? If we're not so worried about using modern language to define this person or that person or this group or that group, we don't need any more language for our freedoms than the first 10 amendments.
Right.
That's it. Definitely after the 15th, it became degradation of the majority for the minority.
Right.
After the 15th, for sure.
Well, I think a big part of that issue, Nate, is that we live in a time where people seem to forget that there is a point where you stop when things have gotten to a point you want them at, and you say, this job is done, it's good, we move forward. Instead, they say, let's keep changing it. Let's keep fixing it. Let's keep changing it. As Andrew would say, that's the progressives that he hates so much, because they're trying to progress something that doesn't need any progression.
Well, but he's 100% right. The libertarian framework just invites the constant progression, right? But all that gets progressed is degeneracy.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. There is no such thing as a constitutional progressive, because a constitution is supposed to hold everything for the greater good of the entirety rather than for the benefit of the few.
Well, that's self-worship, right? That's where we're at. Well, everybody's worshiping themselves.
Oh, definitely. Well, they think they're worshiping themselves. In their head, publicly they won't say it, but in their head they're worshiping themselves, when in fact
they're following the father of lies.
They're following the father of lies. It's more of the Moloch worship and the Baal worship and like all of those crazy things that have been dealt with since Genesis. Right? Since the times of Genesis.
And we want a strong Christian moral ethic to guide the nation, but even if somebody didn't believe in God, they could step back and say, the truth is objective, logic is objective, and if you don't believe in God, you can at the very least say that I'm going to follow truth and logic. and at least
Right.
put that in that place for me until I can decide whether or not I believe in God. At least follow truth.
Absolutely. Now, I watched the release that Andrew Wilson did, uh, his time with Brian Callen here recently, right? When he went on all these, this last week and a half, when he went on all these podcasts and stuff, he hit this, and Brian released it right away. We cannot rely on Christianity cannot rely on non-Christians in order to govern us. We just can't, because even if someone who is someone who's anti-Christian, right, and we'll just call it that, right? They're for anything but Christianity, but see the benefits the uh, of the culture and conditions that are created by conservative Christianity. We can't have them in office and fighting against it, because unless they can actually accept God is the creator of truth, the one consistency with universal truth, we're just going to end up back in the same spot in another. It won't take 250 years.
Right.
It would, if we got what Andrew talks about tomorrow, right? Within 75, 80 years, we'd be back at the spot we're at
Yeah, I
today.
agree. I think it's 2 generations. It'd be 2 generations, and we'd have it turned around. And that
Right.
actually coincides, if you remember, with what Reagan said. Reagan said that all it takes is 1 or 2 generations to lose the republic, and if
And
they
we
can
lose our
brainwash the
freedom.
children, and those children brainwash theirs, everything is gone. And so
That
the same is
that
true
is
for
true.
us, though. If we can bring the Christian moral ethic back into place, hold fast, take the offices that are needed, we may be able to turn it around.
Right. Well, now I have to tell you that I'm not innately. I'm not a really political guy. I have spent 25 years just refusing to engage politically, right? Because it's been pointless, and this is me acknowledging on my end, um, that where I have failed my communities and all the way up into the national. Okay, I have spent the last 23 years refusing to put my voice in because I truly felt it was a waste of time. If we cannot get people active on the local levels with all this, the federal is never going to come around. The only chance we have of surviving a federal collapse is to actually have our local cities and counties, if not our states, where we want it to be,
Right.
regardless of federal.
I'll say
Right?
we all have our mistakes too. Like, I wouldn't say it's just you. I think that there's a level of in training that happens when we're growing up, that our opinion is our opinion, and better people than us are going to take care of things. They're trained, they know things, they know more than you do. The people who go to the big colleges, they know more than you, and those people probably deserve to be in leadership. And most of us get taught that kind of shit the whole time we're growing up. You're
Right.
one person, your voice doesn't matter that much. And I think that's part of the liberal paradigm as well.
Well, but the other part of the liberal paradigm is that you yourself can't do anything. However, we're going to give you the person to vote for who can do it. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
That's really the thing. The right has attempted to stay above, has attempted to stay outside of that kind of plagiarism, right? And I say attempted for various reasons, like Mike Lee. Okay, it was actually voting for him that killed me on the political system. I grew up in a household that very much valued the Constitution, and so the idea of my second year being able to vote, I could put Mike Lee into the Senate. I did vote for him. I helped get him there. And from the first year, he's been a disappointment because he has capitulated on the spiritual aspects of bills that have gone through. He has allowed that to slide for the and end up subverting the Constitution that he claims to, like, on nonsense, useless details. He will be so dogmatic about the Constitution. It really just seems the major spiritual and long-lasting things that he caves on.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the game, right? That's a game of theater. The things that seem impactful.
He's done it since his first term. Now, I will say he has one of the highest voting records, where he is there and gives a vote, yay or nay,
right,
instead of present or abstaining or whatever the left does to just hold everything up, right?
Right.
And
myriads.
what a lot of the myriads and what a lot of the rhinos do, so that they're not obstructing the left, who they're working deals with, but their people don't see them voting yes, right?
Yeah.
And it's the capitulation to it is don't misunderstand. The progressives and the left have been using these emotionally manipulative tactics since since 1890.
Yeah, since the French Revolution, I think, actually. Like,
well,
it's just a piece.
Right, but even here in the U.S., since 1890, the first time there was a state bill that was issued, I believe it was in Rhode Island, to give women the vote.
Mm.
They've been emotionally manipulative from the men in the direction of degeneracy since shortly after the founding of the country.
Yep, I would agree. And
in fact, that state, Rhode Island, I do believe it was Rhode Island. I can't look it up right now, but they offered white women the right to vote white women the right to vote before they opened up suffrage to all men of the state.
Of course.
So it was just the women of the upper class wealthy landowners. At that time they didn't even want to give it to every man in a hovel.
Of course not.
So it's I don't know. The only thing I can tell you is we need to be spreading the we need to be spreading the good voices. We need to be spreading the reason and the connection it has to to Christianity and to God,
I agree.
right?
Yes.
In order to get things, at least have the individuals out there ready and in the right frame of mind should there be a federal collapse. And
So
that's the worst case scenario.
check this out. And if the riots keep going, how long till a group of good old boys, proud boys, stand and do what the government won't? That's actually, that question right there from our chatter is what we're talking about, because that is the moment, that is literally the moment when all chains come off and things come apart. Everything comes apart. Because the moment that people start taking those actions, it's them versus us versus them. And there's the moment you know they're the enemy, it's just going to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until, well, guess what? It's all out. There's no more lines. Right. It's just them and us. And
this is a totally different scenario than the Revolutionary War, than the Revolutionary War, and a even more diametrically opposed situation than the Civil War, because the Civil War was Confederate states who accepted the ratification of the Constitution just to not lose the economic benefit of being tied with the North versus the Republic, right?
Yep.
They held on. The Southern states held on to the Articles of Confederation. Actually, made their state constitutions formed more after the Articles of Confederation.
Right.
So this is not even brother on brother. This is the left hopes that we can. The left hopes that the leadership from the left, from the progressives, really hopes that the base of the right gets violent so that they can hopefully squash it with the power of the federal government.
Well, that's what they're pushing for.
But you guys do not understand how close the federal government is to being too far spread to be able to quash anything within the borders. It literally will be that we tear each other apart from the inside, while our military is on 8 fronts outside of our borders.
And Smoking Spaceman brought up a good point. He says, we keep looking at the Civil War through an American lens, and when you look around the world, they all played out a little different, and there's a lot of ways it can manifest. I would say that that's exactly true. In the scenario of good old boys standing up to what's going on right now, we don't have a scenario where it's two governmental structures going to war with each other. Instead, it's two people groups, and that's far more hairy. That becomes complete guerrilla warfare everywhere, different cities all over the place. There's no line. There's no Mason-Dixon line. It's just literally every city spread into opposing sides.
You know what that ends up being? The internal wars, the internal Muslim wars in the Middle East. That's what the U.S. has gone in and exploited for 100 years, right? Like, or not for 100, but for the last 60 years, the U.S. has. Russia went in and exploited it before that. They started it 100 years ago.
Yep.
So that's do we really want to? Like it's hard to explain to people and help people understand without feeling like you're insulting them one way or another. But do people really want to return to such a tribal population that we literally could have uh, we literally could have arguments between between Islamic factions being played out here in the U.S. Only it's American against American, left versus right, and it's not even the federal government pushing it.
Well, no, partially this was all plotted and started a long time ago, right? The KGB said this is exactly what they wanted to start to happen in the U.S. And then the Soviet Union fell, and yet the plan continued. Why? Because our Democrat Party inside the U.S. functions exactly the same way.
Well, essentially they hold the same ideology. After
That's
the
right.
South fell, Democrats started looking at the communist movements around the world and started saying, we can get on board with that.
Yep.
We would be the few that eating filet mignon while we throw our rotting pastries out to the people. Come on.
Yep. Well, it's been the plan.
And it is an ideology that has stayed consistent in the undercurrent of the progressives. Whether they have a D or an R behind their name on the voting roll, progressives are progressives.
So, to this question from our chatter here, they were talking about the cracks that have been building in the U.S. because this fracturing has been happening. And he says, it's a question of how do we glue this back together? I would say that before you glue back together what is broken, you must first stop what continues to break it.
Look at it like, if you want to look at it that way, look at it like I grew up doing concrete, was actually my first job. Pushing wheelbarrows at 5-6 years old each summer for my uncle. Okay. Washing tools, all that. If there was a crack that was starting in the middle of a pad, right? In the mid, because he broke it up into sections so that if it did crack, there were easy ways and it didn't look so horrible and didn't completely degrade the thing, right? But if frost found a weak point and there started to be a crack through the middle of a pad, you can patch that. But what we have been doing is running the crack sealer across the top. We've been seal coating, all that stuff. It doesn't change how unlevel everything is underneath.
Right.
All you can do is cut out a head of the crack on both ends and tie in some more support rebar and re-pour in that hole.
Yeah.
Or you tear everything up because of one crack.
Right. Almost like you need a foundation repair.
Yeah.
Like pull the whole thing, start over. And that's the fear, right? Because if that is the case, if we allow it to come to that, then you don't know who gets the top. You don't know who gets the new Reformation. You don't know. And everybody says, well, the right would obviously win. They have all the weapons and all these. You know what? Never underestimate the slimy snakes. Because while you're trying to rebuild the new foundation, they will come up and bite you in the ass and poison you. And when your corpse has fallen, they'll build right on top of it.
And it's just like Mike Lee. Constitutional conservative. It just so happens he drops the ball on us when it's ultimately important.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's trying to play games and be able to work with the progressives.
Well, that's because he hasn't noted that they're enemies yet. He still sees them as somebody he can work with, allies in our nation. And the truth is, yes, there has to be some kind of bridge between, but guess what? If you're making deals based on what the enemy wants, and the enemy wants your complete destruction, you're only helping them achieve that. That's what you're doing.
Correct. Well, and there are others out there, although they don't completely share our goals, but I do think that, what's his name from, who's home is completely self-sufficient off grid. He walks around with the pin that is the LED debt calculator.
Oh, I don't. Shoot, I can't.
Trump called him out. Anyway, he ran as a libertarian because he couldn't beat out the Republicans, right?
Right.
4 Republicans, but he is really good. Other than he tends to lean more toward the Green New Deal side of things, right? And he is really good. Jason Chaffetz was absolutely phenomenal. Like, he was absolutely incredible. I feel like he saw the writing on the wall and did not want to be part of the collapse here in the last 15 years or in the last 10 years.
Yep.
And it was, I mean, that man did incredible things for military vets that wrote into him, especially if you were within his district in Utah. But then, like, his office was responding to a lot of people left and right. Everything was great. And then all of a sudden, one day, without any warning, boom, he was gone. There wasn't an announcement of, I'm not running for another term. It was, state of Utah, you have 30 days. You have 30 days to find my replacement.
Yep. So, with this, the right lacks the most significant weapon, communication. The right has the sole survivor complex, where they think they can hunker down and ride out the storm. Now, this is not a bad take. The truth is that we have been conservatives, right? And what does conserving mean? It means holding fast and standing your ground, which is great. But guess what? You can't hold your ground when the enemy continues to advance. Sometimes you have to push them back. And in order to push them back, it means you have to advance. This reminds me of something in private that Charlie Kirk said. He said that the right has continually defended and conserved, and that is a wonderful thing because it kept us steady. But we have to stop standing our ground and advance because we need to push back on the degeneracy. We have to push back the enemy that is tunneling under us, that is flying over the top of us, that is pushing through our lines, that is convincing people in our lines to switch on us. We have to be offensive. And he didn't say offensive with our actions, but with our words, with our rhetoric, with our running for office, with everything the left is doing. We need to push back. We need to push back and do the things that work within the realms of possibility. We have to push back. We cannot be the guys that stand our ground, because eventually the numbers will grow too great on that side and they will push us over and walk right on in.
Right. Well, okay, so here's another line of thought with that. So he brought up the sole survivor thing, right? There are not a whole lot of left-leaning survivalists, right? Unless they're totally and completely crunchy granola, like,
right,
out in California or Nevada or Arizona desert type people, right?
Right.
Very, very few of them would even try a week in the Northern Rockies backpacking.
Nope.
Let alone set themselves up to live indefinitely there,
nope.
Right? Without comforts. Now, the thing that we lack, though, is looking beyond. It's a scope of vision. We lack looking beyond what would be needed for me, for my immediate group, right?
Yep.
wife and kids, or brothers and sisters, or the chosen family that so many of us have, because we're now outcasts from progressivism has allowed so much crap. The prodigal child is impossible to do these days
Mm-hmm.
for most people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because if you can cut your family out, your family can cut you out. End of story.
Well, here's the thing, Nate. They've created a false version of morality based on the
Yeah.
consensus. And that morality that they've created based on the consensus and convinced everyone exists is what they use as the justification for the steps they take. And then when you stand against it, you're immoral to them. Not actually immoral, but you're immoral according to the new standard that they set and called moral, even though it is wickedness.
Right. Well, so where I was going with this is at the very smallest, at this point, at the very smallest, we need to be preparing for, we need to be working with our local churches, right? And we have allowed the insignificant narcissist, right, the self-worship, to say to to be so prevalent throughout conservative society that we've actually opened the door for the Rainbow Coalition to get into our most sacred of places, our churches, right?
Yep.
But what we really need to be able to do is do our part within the community of our local church, our worship group,
Yep.
whatever you call it, right? So that each person can find what they can do long term.
Yep.
To and reproduce whatever it is that they can do for the betterment of everyone, so that nobody goes hungry. Now, yes, that is the theory of communism. However, it does work on everything smaller than 1,100 people groups, as long as everyone is actually committed to it. Once you hit 1,101, it collapses every time.
I would say
Every
this
time.
reminds me of what I always tell people here. I tell them the building blocks of your nation are men who build strong families with good moral foundations. And those men together build societies, cities, towns, whatever, with the same good moral foundations. And they raise all the children in those communities to do the same. And those become the states, and then that is the nation. And if every one man holds themselves to the Christian standard or to God's standard and builds families, then you will have the undergirding for what our country needs to be. And it starts with every man.
It does. It starts with every man. Now here's where people get it twisted and end up pulling out the hippie Jesus or the boyfriend Jesus or whatever, right? We can overlook some stuff, some lack of, we can overlook some sins. I mean, sin is really just missing the mark, right? But instead of holding a tally of the 687 laws, right? I can't remember if it's 687 or 860 something of the Talmud, or yeah, of Talmud, of the Old Testament laws. Instead of holding a tally of those and always feeling like you fail, we need to be able to have grace for the small things. We need to be willing to hold people accountable to actual change, not just performative speech.
Yep.
For the core things. Now, I have my vices, right? Obviously, I smoke tobacco like a freight train, but I don't really like marijuana. But I can't hold someone else to not indulging in THC as a hard and fast rule if I don't allow them to get past it. If they are forever held, right?
Right.
At the same time, we need to, those of us who do sin need to forgive those people who don't automatically accept us in our church or worship groups because of our prior sin, right?
Right.
We
Right.
need to be able to give them grace to be able to, so that
Right.
we can actually prove ourselves to that community.
Well, and that's why I say often that we need to build the bridges. We have to build bridges between, like, for instance, Christianity. Bridges need to be built between, like, Catholicism and Protestants and Orthodox. And I'm not saying they need to just drop their standards at all. I'm saying you can tell them flat out, that's what you're doing here is heresy, but you are seeking Christ as we are, as I am. And we can give grace because we have the same belief that the Christian moral ethic is what needs to be the standard that we all hold our nation to. And we can say, okay, let's work together. We can quibble about the deep theologies later. We can help you understand in the meantime, but we have to work together if we want to be a Christian nation. If we don't band together for this cause, then I promise you what will happen is the left will seek to poison the Protestant churches of the country further to stand with them against everything that Catholicism or Orthodoxy does. And we've already seen that. We've seen the feminist movement do it. We've seen the Rainbow Coalition do it. We've seen every new movement try to come into the churches and twist them away from Christ and towards this communist, leftist paradigm. And we have to extend that grace.
At the same time, if they're not willing to walk certain things back, we have to be willing to cut them out.
Agreed.
We absolutely. You're not going to get the Episcopal Church to give up their female clergy. You're just not.
Agreed.
You're not going to get your Reformed Southern Baptists to let go of their female clergy. But at the same time, you're not going to get Unitarians to give up the boyfriend Jesus. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But if we can talk to them, I know a lot of people through that I've met online over the last 15 years. I know a lot of people who at the core have the same ideas. It is literally just details, right? But at the core, they're my brothers and sisters in Christ, just the same. They seek him the same way I do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't me who's cut off communication with any of them at any point. It was their hard stance on certain things,
right?
That pause communications. But but what I'm saying is, what I mean to say with all this is that what I think we really need to do is be ready to use that prepper mentality that he had brought up with the whole soul survivor thing, right? We just spread that out to our local church group. And even if you're not, if the majority of the Christians, right, are not even of your faith, but they are the people who will be surrounding you at the time of trouble, that is the community you need to tie into.
Yep.
And you may not be a leader of them in any way at any point, but you will always be an influence.
Yep. That's true.
So anyway, I'm going to jump off my soapbox.
Okay.
So Anthony, that I talked to you about, has talked to me. He's excited to be able to find a way to get things scheduled.
Heck yeah.
With some of the other stuff that you've talked about, I would be glad to work out a time that maybe you and I could do, like not necessarily a live, because I can't always guarantee
Sure.
live broadcast
Right.
capability. But even if it's just something we'd sit down and you're able to clip up or whatever and see what you find important.
I think that's an awesome idea.
Anthony is incredible. He's a man who actually who saw himself in my position, and has actually gone toward reconciliation with his family in a way that he actually had to humble himself, even though they were refusing to look at Christianity as an option, until he humbled himself to go back and ask them for their forgiveness for his hard-heartedness, and now his family is starting to thrive.
Wow.
Yeah. A life of set up with degeneracy and craziness, and I mean, it's a different story, but but the theme is pretty much the same, where it's, guy who had all the opportunities in the world to be able to be having an absolutely incredible life, and degeneracy took it away from him. And it literally took face-to-face meeting with the Lord's opposition to snap him out of it, and have him seeking truth.
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to start making changes until he did real lasting changes, until he decided he needed to change so that he could offer that change to his own children. So anyway, I look forward to seeing that interview with Anthony.
I think it'd be awesome. I'm going to contact him again tomorrow and try to start getting it lined out and set up.
Oh yeah. And you guys, it would be one that you would definitely want to share out with any of your crazy non-religious friends as well.
Yeah.
Because he's a character. He is a character. There, you may need to ask him, let him know what words you want used on your YouTube for TOS.
Okay.
And I will encourage that he listen to that. He's a character, but he's a man who is actually not that far off in personality from like Andrew Wilson.
Very cool. Welcome in,
brother.
Emmett.
How you doing?
Hey Nate, good to see you. Good to see you, Abe.
Good to see you.
So
we are in the StreamYard.
Yeah, we are in the StreamYard. When do you head down to DebateCon, Emmett?
I'm not going to DebateCon. I don't think I am.
Oh, you're not? Oh, I thought you were. Okay.
When is DebateCon?
This week?
Oh, then no. I'm not going to DebateCon.
Okay. That'd be cool if you did, though.
If I, it would be cool if I did, but I'm not planning to. At least I don't, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, if you'd be interested, I would be happy to buy you. I would be happy to buy you lunch or late breakfast or something like that. I'm going to be, as I understand it, I'm going to be back in your area, not with the semi, in 2 weeks.
Oh wow!
In Utah?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah, we can go. Yeah, it would be nice.
I'm pretty open with stuff. My mom lives in Orem.
I've got to be
I've got to be up in Clearfield for a few hours. I've got to go out, all the way out to Duchesne, eastern Utah, for a night, and then I have the Brotherhood fishing trip. So my boys that have been my boys since, well, one of them knew me when I was born, and the other two I met in junior high. And the four of us are just, last year we started an annual fishing trip. So yeah, we're gonna go up fishing for 4 days.
Sweet. That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, I would be honored if I would get to meet you. Just let me know when you're here, and sure, we'll have some food. It would be great.
Sounds good. I'd be glad to take you out to dinner, man. You're another one that needs to have their voice out there. You've got the quick wit, as well as the real understanding of logic that I think people underestimate because of the accent.
I keep telling him that.
Because of what?
A whole lot.
The accent.
Because of the accent.
Yeah.
Because you sound Jewish for whatever reason. I don't know. But
he sounds Taco-Slovakian.
Right, Taco-Slovakian. Anyway, but no, I wanna help push your channel, get you monetized, and get you growing as well, because yeah, the debate sphere needs your voice in there as well. And
yes.
We need you there if we're gonna be able to save anything in the next 5 years.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'll be doing it.
I know you're trying. I've been hopping in and trying to support you and getting other people in there to listen to you. So, but yeah. Anyway,
I have a debate tomorrow. I think maybe because I don't see it being posted, but it's supposed to be tomorrow. Manar versus me. What creates a better economic system? Islam or
really?
Christianity? It's a very easy debate.
Well,
it's such an easy debate.
Right, it is. I mean, in all honesty, the only economic system that there is in under Islam is at the best mercantilism, but in the national practice, it's communism.
Yeah, it's a communistic system, and
it is.
It's weird because it's not supposed to, but it is, and there are a lot of problems with it. But at the end of the day, I have an idea of how I'm going to debate it. I cannot say it 100%.
No, don't give away anything, because Matard always has in like spies if he's not in here under a pseudonym, right?
Yep.
And I'll call him Matard. I will not use his real name. And that man just irritates the hell out of me. And it's not even his ideas. I can handle someone with those ideas. It's that damn voice.
Yeah.
And I know that he can do something about that. Anyway.
Yep. True.
All right, Emmett. Well, I'll let you have your time, bro, and you guys have a good night. I'm gonna fall back to sleep for about another 4 hours listening to you guys.
All right.
Have a good night, Nate.
Thank you, Nate.
Thank you for the support.
Good night, everybody. God bless.
God bless you. Well, Emmett, how are you?
Well, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Figured I'd open up a panel and talk to people about, the state of affairs and all the false claims and the basically straight out insurgency in the streets of the U.S.
What? Insurgency?
Yeah. I mean, you could make equations. You could say, wow, this looks an awful lot like that thing there. We probably shouldn't jump to those just yet, because the response we would take to those is rather harsh, rather
I'm
kinetic.
making a joke. I'm making a joke, but yes, I was gonna make a joke about certain demographic of people who would not will call um wouldn't call this an insurrection, but will call a bunch of hippies burning a little bit of MJ in a national park being against the implementation of certain laws and insurrection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. All right, Mister, we'll be here. We will be here. Mister says he has something to us to react to, but give him 5 minutes. Yeah, I think we see a lot of parallels to. I don't know. It looks straight out like guerrilla warfare that they're pulling against us right now. Like signal, private chats, encrypted messaging, sneaky behind the scenes, in the streets actions against lawful arrests and all kinds of things. It just seems very insurgent like to me. Don't you think?
Well, you have experience about this kind of insurgency,
I
specifically
do.
because of what you did.
I do.
Do you think this is insurgency? Like
It looks a
from
lot
your
like it to me, yeah. Yeah, it looks a lot like it. Like, the original thing I was going to say is that it reminds me of some of the things that happened with, like, the Ba'athist Party going underground and then utilizing households and trickery to get at their enemies as well as military, all while using the people of the area as shields, basically, which is exactly what's happening, I think, in these communities. And then what's even worse is that the local government of those people is siding with the insurgents in the area. So you have an ideology that's leading the state governmental officials, and that same ideology is the ideology of the underground insurgents, and the normal everyday people get to suffer beneath both of them. That's what it seems like to me from the outside looking in. I mean, I'm not in Milwaukee, so I can't see everything. But if you look at the freaking way that they're operating, and then you look at, yeah, they're shipping people in from all over the place. They're paying these people to do these things in an underground manner.
Did something happen besides the Minnesota? What is? You mean Minnesota or you mean Milwaukee?
Milwaukee, whatever.
What happened in Milwaukee?
Well, Minnesota, right? Like all the stuff going on with ICE, the shootings, all of this stuff that they're pumping up as if they're super terrible acts against the people by ICE.
Yeah, I understand.
But it's being played up as something that it's not,
right.
And then tricking people into standing against everything. And it's the same kind of stuff that we see when, Minneapolis, that's what Minneapolis, Minnesota. That they just want to break the system. Because
I think you're correct in the idea of breaking the system, and I think they do want to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that is. I don't think that's news. I think that's very obvious, especially when it comes to the insurgency and the whole proposition they have right now when it comes to the insurgency.
Yeah. Well, and then you look at. Go ahead. Sorry.
And you can see also the people around it are pretty much weaponizing it. So one of the things that you need to have a good rebellion or a rebellion in general is you need to be able to justify it in the moral sense and to the people that are going to be the insurgent. And I think that's what we're looking at. And you, we will have to be very cognizant at the fact that that's what we're looking at, because the next steps are not going to be them being nice. The next steps is them upping the anthem and trying to be way more aggressive.
Hmm.
This is one of the reasons why I said the Insurrection Act needed to be enacted. I know we might disagree on that one,
No, I
but
don't.
it is one of the few.
I don't
I know
disagree.
why I know why Trump doesn't want to do it. I understand why, but if he doesn't do it, it's gonna be worse for everybody at the end of the day
Okay.
because what they want is cause chaos.
Well, let me say it this way. What the military does when an insurgency grows too large in a battlefield scenario is we will just conquer the entirety of the city and suppress it till it's gone.
But that means, yeah, I know what you mean. I just don't think most people are ready for something like that to happen, and the more you let it grow, the worse it's gonna become, and they need to just nip it at the bud.
Well, that's what I don't think that we need that kind of tactic, but I do think that it needs to be beyond doing. Like the actions that are being taken are outside of the scope of what citizens should be doing. Like, as a citizen of the United States, looking at the way that the structure works, how it has always worked, you don't look at the structure and say, there's a whole bunch of people here illegally taking the tax dollars and destroying our country from within. Let's go ahead and let that keep happening. And then when the government says, no, that's against the people and it hurts the populace, we're going to stop it, you stand against the government and attack the legally operating agents of the state that have come in to take care of that issue. And what's worse,
one of the few things that I have a problem with is I really think that Trump doesn't want to do anything right now because he's not afraid, but he thinks that
midterms.
it's gonna affect his midterms,
Yeah.
and I think it's the opposite. If he actually does something, it's gonna help the midterms, and if he doesn't do anything, it's gonna really hurt the midterms.
It's very possible. But we have a video to watch. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You ready to review with me?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
What's that old saying? Just when you think they can't get any lower, they surprise you or shock you or whatever the hell it is. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. The Democrats have brand new recruits, and it's not who you think. And it's being led by Maxine Klingon Waters. I'm going to share with you some really disturbing clips, but they have to be shown because the mainstream media is not going to share with you. But I promise you, this is going to have a happy ending. There's a viral video of a mother storming into her school demanding that her kid be taken out and exempt from this atrocious behavior. And then I've got one of the most, I think, awesome things I'm ever going to share on this channel, a letter to President Trump from one of the most world-renowned, most iconic public figures in the history of our culture, saying back in 1989, you know what I think you should do? I think you should run for president and save our country. You don't want to miss this.
Okay, interesting.
Wow. Wow.
Remember when your teacher said recess, it meant kickball, not protesting abolish ICE? You know, ICE has done two really remarkable, well, I mean, they've done a bunch of things, but two really remarkable things that stand out. Number one, they are getting rid of the scum of the earth, the thugs, the murderers, the child offenders. I can't actually say it because I don't want the video to get taken down. Literally the worst of the worst: terrorists, gangsters, thugs, narco terrorists, foreign spies that Kamala, the fake borders are, and Vegetable and Chief Biden let into our country throughout the red carpet. Zero vetting, zero systems and processes. Not only are they doing that, keeping our streets safe, clean, so that we don't have to walk around with our head on a swivel in our own country, for crying out loud. I mean, this is insanity. But they're actually exposing one of the worst institutions, and nobody knows this better than me. I don't just call myself Professor Nez for kicks and giggles. I know these people. I've worked with these people. Radical activists, indoctrinators. They're not educators. And yes, what you just saw was not AI. It was real. They're using children. These are children, innocent children who should be playing, who should be actually learning. We have like
This is disgusting.
Efficiency scores across the globe.
This is disgusting.
President, who is the head of the American Federation.
But I do not put it past the left at all, because this is exactly what they do. This is exactly how you saw the propagation of the rainbow movement. This is how you saw the propagation of the trans movement. This is the same thing, and now they're doing it for this too.
Of teachers, she makes like $600,000 a year, and we're like number 45th in the world or something like that, the lowest percentile ever in reading, math proficiency, critical thinking, literacy. I mean, you name it. It goes all the way down the list. We should be number one in every slot. Why aren't we, with this much funding and this much subsidies? Why aren't we number one? Well, maybe this is a clue. A growing trend that is happening all over. You are seeing school teachers, public school teachers, who are teaching their kids to protest against law enforcement officers who are simply doing their job to get rid of the worst of the worst. They cried, Epstein, stop protecting the pedos. Well, now they're telling kids to stop ICE, protect pedos from getting taken out, arrested, detained, and removed from our country. This is what they're doing to our youth. This is a day school in New York called Chloe Day School. These are kindergartners. Check this out.
What's happening?
I feel all of it.
Right. And how do you feel? What did you tell us earlier?
I feel angry.
Because you don't like to see what?
I don't like to see people are hurt or taken away from their family.
Right. And so.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And Amadi, what do we want to say? Stop the
Hating.
Right.
This is so messed up, because you're going to take these children who don't understand the scope or why this is happening. They don't even have the ability to yet understand why it's happening. And you're indoctrinating into them that it's bad and wrong before they even can functionally understand what is happening. So, what this will do is this will graft over to everything. Every time a criminal does anything and a cop has to tackle them or fight back to get them under control and get cuffs on them, every time anything like that happens, they will see it as a wrong, an ill, a bad. Especially at this age, where they're not even fully formed, they don't have cemented cognition, they don't have any of that done. This is
Messed up.
this is yeah, it's fucking terrible, is what it is. Sets my teeth on edge, dude.
You know what's the worst part? You can't do anything about it. You have to accept. All you can do is kind of accept it for now. And this is what I mean about doing something. Like you. I don't think we're gonna see like us winning the midterms if we continue to do nothing.
If this doesn't make rage boil up in you, then there's something wrong with you. That's all I can say. As a parent, if you have children, this should make you sick to your stomach. That's what this should do.
It's probably some of the worst I've seen online, and the fact that they're using kids. But this is not new. I've
No,
seen
it's
this
not.
happen a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to communism uses kids all the time.
Well, that's, if you remember 1984, this is how this starts right here. And you're right, they've been doing it forever. Humanity has been doing things like this forever. But this reminds me right here, see something, say something. They turn all the children into informants for the state. And in this case, not even the not even the party that's in power or the will of the majority of the people. They're turning them into the insurgents of tomorrow. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. And they're doing the same in the universities as well.
This is why you homeschool your kids, folks, right here. Or find a community connection, because plenty of communities are homeschooling their own children in a more Christian value-centric way.
Okay, and my last three, Faith, Mariama, and Raya, what do we want to tell people?
Enough, stop hurting people.
And what do we want to say at the school?
Enough is enough. Stop hurting people.
Ms. Shadira, would you like to share your thoughts?
My thoughts are united, we're powerful, our words are strong, kindness is free. Let's do the right thing.
Kindergartners. They should be coloring. They should be having read books to them. They should be, their curiosity, their imagination should be cultivated. Instead, spreading misinformation. I mean, the irony. We want to stop hate, but you're teaching them to hate law enforcement. I want to share this quick study with you, and then I've got so much more to share with you. 2000.
One message I would have is to women out there: do not let your compassion lead you to allow evil to thrive. Okay? Really important. It's really, really important.
19 NIH study on kids exposed to political violence found it spikes aggression toward peers by 20 to 30%, plus emotional distress like insomnia and panic. In Egypt's post-Arab Spring mess, a 2019 social science and medicine paper showed youth in protest zones reported doubled anxiety and, quote, uncertainty about the future. Mental health scores tanked, especially for boys. This is absolutely disgusting. We need to defund and abolish the Department of Education. You need to tear it all down and start over from scratch. I am telling you, this is where it starts. But when they get to where I used to teach at the higher ed level, it's even worse. I mean, you're seeing these young people who have no clue about the world, and they're just being poisoned in their brains with this Marxist.
Yeah, that's the other thing, Emmett. Most high schoolers have zero idea of how politics work, how geopolitics work, how the movements of communism and socialism do their thing. They don't understand it fully. And if they have any understanding of government and politics, it's so cursory that most of what's happening would escape them completely. And then you see high school kids and college kids who have never really paid attention to politics because it's not important to you at 18, 16, 17. You're not thinking, oh, that's really important to me, because you don't see the future you do as an adult. You literally just don't even see it that way. And then they're going to pump them full of this ideology and explain things in skewed ways, using language in incorrect ways. Well, guess what? If they do this, they're started early. Then they have these ideas from the moment they actually enter the school world, the education world, and then they'll continue that from the time these 5 and 6 year olds or 4 and 5 year olds are all the way until they're 20, 22, 25. So now they've been pumping that ideology into their heads. What happens is they don't have the ability to see through it. They can never see through it.
Do you remember all of the shit that people were saying about indoctrination?
Yep.
That they would go on and be like, oh, Christianity is so bad, they indoctrinate kids, you have indoctrinations from such an early age, and they keep on talking about indoctrination and indoctrination and indoctrination.
Yep.
Well, now you can see indoctrination happening in real life, in real time, at this moment, and it is indoctrination, and it's gonna continue.
Yep.
Some of the ways that I tend to it's like today I was talking to somebody, and one of the things that happened, he was like talking about doing the right thing, and he was like, I don't understand how people cannot just do the right thing, and I was like, because they don't like because they like doing the other things. So you like it. And he was like not getting the point at one point. Like he didn't understand what I mean.
Yep.
But it is true. Like if you have other things that you want to do and you like doing, that actually comes into
Yep.
into conflict
Yep.
with the things that you like the your basic desires.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why you're like called to move away from your basic desires in Christianity, because you have a higher intellect and a higher calling, and you have actual reasons to not just fall prey to your
Right. Well, it reminds
to,
me.
to what you want.
Right. It reminds me of a saying: "Do what is right, not what is easy."
Yeah, but what I mean by that is you still have to deal with that, right? You still have to deal
Yeah.
with the fact that
You have to deal with human nature.
yeah, you have to. The question becomes, why wouldn't I do this thing that I really want to do?
Right. Right.
And the answer has to be something else than just because it's good, just because I think it's good. Like, well, the answer has to be you need to be able to give him a justification of the morality. It's good because of this. That will be
Well,
the actual answer.
Right. There's an issue, a huge issue in functionality right now. And the functionality is that when you place yourself in the position of God in your own life, what you want is more important than what is right. Because what is right, if you have put yourself in the place of God, what is right is whatever you want. And they've convinced most of the secular world that that is the case, that they are the most important thing in their lives, and whatever they deem or whatever they like or whatever they think they like is right because they like it, and that's fine. When in reality, there is an actual objective moral reality that we exist within, and they have been subverted into a degenerative state by believing that they supersede all and that their will and their wants are the most important thing.
Well, it's again, it's about you have the same issue. Like at some point, you have to come to the realization that and I see this from a lot of people that are like a little bit of they know a little bit of philosophy. They will go ahead and tell you like, oh, you gotta do the right thing, and then you ask them like, I literally said like, why? Because it's the right thing, and I'm like, okay, but what about the but what about your
Well, how do you know
desires?
what's right?
No, what about your desires? Like at one point, are you gonna be like, I wanna do, I need to do these, but I wanna do this other thing, and then it's like, well, what do you want to do more? And it's like, well, maybe I want to do this other thing more because it feels better. It feels good, and it's like, and at that point it becomes an actual moral dilemma. If only you are the one that comes with the thing that is good, why is the thing that feels good not good? Because it
Right.
feels good,
Right.
and this is one of the reasons why Christianity gives you a lot of moral justification. It's like, hey, you are more than just this thing that feels good. You have to do the right thing because you are more. You are partaking in the essence of God. So, and there is the idea of the future, and you have all of these other stuff going on around you, not only that thing that feels good right now.
Yeah, that's a quandary to get people pulled away from that, because if they've been taught that their whole lives, it's really hard to unseat that throne in their heart.
Yeah.
You got to have like a full ego death or something and realize that the world isn't what you think.
But then again, it's like, why would you have that, right?
Yeah, that's why it usually takes rock bottom for people to realize, Emmett, right?
It usually takes rock bottom. I agree with that.
Yeah, it sucks. Really sucks. But guess what?
And,
if they can
and I don't
reach
think
rock
there's-
bottom and come
and I don't
back,
think-
they're better for it.
well, it's like death, right?
Yep.
It's like the idea of like even when it comes to the resurrection of it, it's like you have to die to you,
Right.
so you
Die
can
to yourself.
live. Yeah.
You have to.
It's the same propositional idea.
Yep. All
Now,
right, here we go.
when it comes to kids, by the way, we do
Yes.
have a responsibility to the kids. So
Absolutely.
this
That's
needs to
why-
be addressed.
That's why it's setting my teeth on edge. It's why I'm very angry internally. I feel like mad rage right now. Like profound anger at this situation, actually. All right.
Yeah.
Radical, extreme, anti-American. They vilify billionaires, vilify successful people. They vilify anybody who deems to hold true to the oath that we need to have law and order. It's unbelievable. They treat dissension and disgust towards superiority, meaning like law authority figures, like law enforcement. It is abominable with a capital A. You think that's bad? Take a look at this. Mothers in Portland, Oregon are taking their kids to active anti-ICE riots at the local building. One 7-year-old girl and a baby were hit with gas. So you can hear her
Oh
say,
my
"It's burning
gosh,
my eyes,"
dude.
and one like Antifa protester or whatever is sharing, trying to pour water on her face and saying, shake it, and this poor. I mean, what kind of demented, demonic, ghoulish, soulless mook can you be to take your young kids? It's like, hey kids, whatever happened to like, hey kids, you want to go to the mall? Or hey, how about we go to In-N-Out? Let's go grab a burger and a shake. Whatever happened to like normalcy? I mean, this is insanity.
Representative, what is your message to the people here today?
Stay on the street. Stay on the street.
They're on federal property right now. What would you?
Stay on the street. Stay on.
What's your message to ICE agents?
ICE agents, we don't want you in Los Angeles. And we thought you had sense enough with the president to start getting out of Minneapolis. But I guess you have.
Oh
no
God, I
sense.
hate the
And you don't
fucking
understand
flags.
the other people. We are not going
Oh
away.
my gosh.
We don't want you in any of our cities in this country. And
Like, I
How's
don't
that
care
woman
who
still
you are
alive?
and be in power.
She
I
looks
really-
like she's 500.
500.
Like,
She is
what the
500.
shit? Oh my gosh.
we're going to fight you every inch of the way.
What's your message to Donald Trump?
Donald Trump.
This is, by the way, I want you all to put this into perspective a little bit. This 500-year-old Klingon bitch is a part of that very government and fighting the government. Yes, she is definitely. She's James Brown after 500 years. This is what James Brown would look like if he continued to age for 500 years. That's what this is. And she incites violence. She incites issues everywhere she goes. She is a representative of that very government. And when Hillary was running for office, I don't know if any of you remember this, but when Hillary was running for office, she had the exact same rhetoric, if not firmer, than Trump currently has on immigration. And this woman supported her 100%. Imagine that. And yet, here she is telling everybody to stand against it. We don't want them here. We don't want immigration. We don't want people taken out. Funny. Because Trump, who ran against Hillary, and Hillary had the same takes Trump currently has, she stood with her for that. Interesting. It's almost like she's willing to change stances for the left, regardless of what those stances are. Because I guarantee you her moral compass didn't change. She just goes with the flow. Whatever helps them win and keep control, that's all she wants. She doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about the the immigrants or the illegals. She doesn't care. Just as long as she keeps power and income, just as long as she gets to direct the minds of people to do what she wants. That's all she wants. And remember, the left is the party that has vote blue no matter who. That's who this is right here on your screen. That's who that is right there. Yep.
You are absolutely the most outrageous, the most terrible, the most deplorable human being that I've ever met. You have no compassion for anybody. You have targeted.
Well, Maxine, all I can say to that is, if that is true, it takes one to know one, bitch. It takes one to know one.
This immigration, this migration, and you want to make MAGA people believe that you're all powerful and that you're going to see to it that they get these people of color out of the country. But they're attacking everybody.
I actually want to address that. I don't care what color a person is. Like, Emmett, my friend here, would be one of the people of color. I don't have any issues with Emmett, do I? No, not one. But if you're going to come here, if you're going to come here illegally, and you're going to break the laws to do it, and you're going to siphon tax money, and you're also going to commit crimes in your home country and my country, get the hell out. Just go home. You shouldn't be here if you seek to destroy what we have built. You're not them because you aren't them. It's freaking sickening that they do this and make it about race. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with the legality and the quality of the people. Maxine Waters is getting Pelosi's adrenochrome allocation and needs to keep coming. Yes, indeed. That's how she got to 500 after all.
Americans too. You see what they're doing up in Minneapolis. And so Donald Trump, we are going to make sure we're going to beat you.
Oh my God. It's like she's like the drunk aunt at every Thanksgiving family get together where you just kind of like tolerate her, and like every time she talks, everybody's kind of.
She's the drunk single mom aunt at every event. Yeah.
Looks at each other with awkward silences, like just never mind, just ignore her. Oh, it's so atrocious. We're gonna try to beat you. You're the most deplorable. Everybody voted for this. He ran on this. Over 80 million people voted for this. Every swing state, the popular vote. Everybody in America wants this. There's poll after poll after poll. Everybody, over 80% of Americans want this. You're so out of touch. What are you doing? You should be in a home. You should be far away from Congress. You have no business being in California, in Los Angeles. Be gone, Maxine Klingon. Here's the best video I'm going to share with you. This is a mother in Auburn, Washington. She's going viral after confronting her daughter's middle school for allowing students to walk out to protest ICE during class and unenrolling her, with many praising her and calling for federal funds to stop going to schools like this. This is magical. Watch.
This is my daughter's middle school being allowed to protest ICE agents disrupting traffic, having everyone honk. I'm pulling my child from school today.
This is wild.
This is unbelievable.
Get some rest, Smoking Spaceman. Thank you. Let's talk to you later.
I'm here to pull my child from the school right now. I'm here to pull Remington Gates from the school district.
So you want to withdraw?
Yep.
What a badass name, Remington Gates.
I can't believe my kid is in this environment right now. I'm blown away.
Remington Gates.
Remington. That's an awesome name.
I'm blown away. The mother?
Yeah. Well, so I can explain to you what we're.
This is disrupting traffic and my child's education.
Mom, can you sign her out, and then I just need to double check.
I need to see my kid.
Okay, yeah, we have to.
Okay. When she's down here, I will sign.
Unless we see her ID.
Are you serious?
Because there's unfortunately some parental agreements where
Every time I bring it in, she doesn't check it because she knows me. That's interesting.
That's okay. I just want to make sure Erica. Just sign her out, Erica. We'll get her for you. We're just erring on the side of caution on this side.
Yeah, this is it. What about the other side? What about my family?
We're erring on the side of caution, yet you're letting kids go out in the streets to protest ICE. Idiots. Freaking
As I
idiots.
walked up, I was getting booed by every single student. By the way, I'm making that known. Because I didn't honk, I pulled up to make sure everyone was okay.
Could you please send Remington Gates to the office?
You want to come back and talk?
Absolutely not.
Wow. Well, she's actually really on, really based.
No, not yet.
I mean, we called for him and everything else?
She's on her way.
Okay.
From that year, 2 weeks.
Will you go make sure? Who's your student? Just so.
Remington Gates,
Can you just
7th grade.
From stairs to here?
Absolutely.
Yep, Maddie.
And I want to be escorted to there because every single student booed me because I pulled up here, rolled down my window. Is everything okay? What's going on? To run into this? I didn't honk. I parked as soon as I walked up. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a huge problem, guys. I cannot believe that my child is in this environment right now. I'm ashamed and I'm embarrassed as a parent and as an adult. Wow, I thought my kid was safe here.
I mean, just imagine you are working a 9 to 5. You probably got all sorts of problems and stress. The one place you send your kids, school, there's adults there, there's supervision there, there's a board there. There's
Yeah,
supposed to be
exactly.
some
They
structural
send them out to protest in public, but scrutinize a mom for disagreement. Yeah. And they're erring on the side. They're erring on the side of safety. Yet they're allowing children to go into the streets where they know ICE is trying to arrest criminals. So putting them in the middle, in the midst of operations. That's not safety, people. Thank you for the 5, Nate.
Thank you for 5, Nate. And yes, it's not
architecture
safe.
there that fortifies.
It's
that your
absolute
kid is
stupidity.
an
There's a comment
that
from
is
Mr. from my
warm,
chat. It
inviting.
says, "This is what a woman's duty looks like." I agree.
I agree too.
This is exactly what. This is exactly
That's what mothers should be doing.
what mothers are doing. Yeah, what
Yep.
mothers do.
being true to form, educational in nature, everything that they say it's going to be, and you find out that they get pulled out of school, pulled out of their learning to actually protest, fight, antagonize, stir up trouble against law enforcement officers simply doing their job. Democrats, this is an ad that needs to be. Is this who you want in power, in control of our government? Can you imagine if they win the House and they get a Senate seats again? Dare I say, in 2028 they beat J.D. Vance? Can you imagine what they're going to do? These ruthless, godless, soulless hypocrites, aka Democrats.
Yep.
How do we want to think about it? One thing I can say again, the benefit of ICE besides
Rest well, Nate. Thank you for being here.
Earth is they're exposing education, just like COVID exposed the lack of innovation, the lack of wherewithal, DEI. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it a million times. DEI is the worst virus that ever afflicted modern society. This is another byproduct. And what makes it more dangerous is it's invisible. You can't see it, but it bleeds into the artery of every facet of our society. This is not America. This isn't best person for the job. This isn't the best person wins, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, ethnicity, etc. This is equal outcomes, not equal opportunity. I could go on and on and on. It's just going to drive me crazy. But like I said, I promised you I was going to end this on a little ray of sunshine, something really, really cool. This is a letter dated February 23rd, 1989 to Donald Trump at that time, our president, Donald Trump, which he posted himself from former Yankees general manager George Steinbrenner III. Check this out. So Trump posted this himself, and you can see it's got the New York Yankees letterhead there, February 23rd, 1989. Mr. Donald Trump, dear Donald, saw you on Morton Downey the other night. He is a friend, and I watch his show regularly. You were great. You tell it like it is. It is like I said to Stephen, you should run for president someday and get the whole damn thing straightened out. You were tremendous on the show. Warm personal regards. Sincerely, George Steinbrenner. Now, regardless what you think of the Yankees,
that's awesome.
George Steinbrenner, I know they all have their faults, but man, oh man, how clairvoyant. The forethought of that. He's trying to do it, George. God rest your soul. He's trying to, but these hypocrites keep stopping him. But guess what? We can help our president, who we voted for, who's carrying out the America First agenda. You can help him by tapping the thumbs up if you love America. Share this with everybody. We need to make common sense go viral, and you can help. We need to stop these abominations who are pretending to be educators when they are activists in educators' clothes. Decepticons pretending to help when they are fomenting and stoking the fires of division and hate, all byproducts of DE.
I like the idea of Decepticons.
Everybody, don't forget to check out these videos coming up on my screen right
awesome.
here. Click them and then tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you.
Here's something for you, Emmett. And this was a base take. I liked that was a good video there, Mr. And I also am subscribing to him. Here's something that I've seen recently, and it's the protesters and progressives, leftists are using the Rebel Alliance flag from Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not new. They've been using it for a while.
What's a rebellion, Emmett?
It's I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but
it's kind of like an insurgency, right?
Yeah, an attack on the government, on the attack on the government as of
kind of like an insurrection, yeah, that's what that is.
Well,
and they're using it as their symbol.
If you look at the new movies from Star Wars, one of the big problems I had with them is that the Republic won. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So we should have a Republic-led empire right now. What happened to the Republic in 5 seconds of the first movie?
Gone.
And then the whole movie was about the rebellion again?
Mm-hmm.
So,
because that's the thing about revolutions. They never stop rolling. They just keep seeking to rebel.
Yeah. What I found very, very interesting about all of that is that they're not even trying to convince you that that they're not the rebels or something like that. They are, and they're pretty much telling you, well, look what we are. We're the rebels. We love rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In every possible way. Amazing. Amazing.
So they're insane. These people are insane. People are actually insane.
Emmett, do you think we need to just suspend habeas corpus?
No.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. The hat told me to.
You're trying me to be like, yeah, you're pro-war.
No, my hat told me to suspend habeas corpus again. That's all.
Okay, I agree with your hat then.
Listen.
Let's go. Let's have a second civil war. Let's
listen.
Show these.
I'm just a product of the hat. Okay, that's.
Sure, Abe. Sure. If you say so.
If you're a product of the hat, put a hat in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Hats in the chats.
Have you ever seen Medicare?
Yeah.
You should get a hat for your hat.
I should get a hat for I do have a hat for my hat. You ready?
Okay. You have another.
There's a hat for my hat right there.
Oh man, you're gonna have. You know what? When you come down to Utah, you're gonna have to bring that one.
I will.
Okay.
So we can stream in hats together.
Yeah, we're gonna do. I'm gonna.
That'd be so fantastic.
Find a way to get us all into. We have like 4 or 5 different. Well, like no, not 4 or 5. I'm not gonna do the 5 different cameras. That's only for goth cuties. I don't do that.
No.
But
you were expecting a small hat, K2? No. Look.
That's still awesome.
Saying. Enough hats to go around. I should start selling hats. I should open a shop for my channel and sell those hats.
Yeah,
top hats for all. And then we can have a hatters convention. It'd be fun.
That sounded like Hooters, and I'm not sure your wife is gonna be happy about a Hooters convention.
I said a hatters convention. Okay. Gosh.
Gosh.
This guy. This freaking guy.
This fucking guy.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
No, I don't think I did. Mr. Hold on.
What is Mr. sending you now?
I don't know yet. I have to look. In my Discord? Wait. Yes. Is it done? Okay. It's on my Discord? In which link? Or in the general or what? Okay. Oh. This one. Right. Copy. Paste. Okay. Let me share it. I'm sharing that. There. Boom. Breaking. Hackers just targeted the Stop ICE website and threatened to leak everyone's identities to the feds. Holy shit, it's actually happening.
Well, I didn't expect the hackers to be based.
Right?
Like everybody's just in the
as you can see
camp
here.
of fuck these guys, I guess.
We're not kidding. We sent your names, logins, passwords, and locations to a bunch of government agencies. Sherman Austin is a terrible coder. So are RC, Conception, and Matt Barron. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. Thank you, Mr. for that. That's good stuff. That is good stuff.
It's funny stuff.
Isn't it? I thought so.
Yeah, this is one of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, Nate. Nate with the Big 5 this year. I need to come fish in your area, Abe, at least an overnight. That'd be badass. Montana's pretty amazing. It can get real cold in the winter, but it's pretty amazing. Thank you, Nate, for the Big 5. I really appreciate that. And are you streaming right now? Because I just got notified that dinner is done.
You got notified that dinner's done?
I did.
I just want to let everybody know, everybody that is in my stream and his stream, that this fucking guy, is gonna leave you all because he's gonna eat with his wife like a gentleman. Okay, he's gonna go ahead and be there for his wife and eat with her. Do you know what kind of simpy behavior is that? Imagine that. Okay, imagine that. Imagine what the kind of simpy behavior that this guy is experiencing by leaving all of you to go to his woman and eat. I want everybody to put in chat stern looks, like just the stern looks for these guys.
Yeah, stern looks for the man that's a
looks.
father who eats with his children and his
Yes.
wife
Yeah, just
and heads his house. You know,
at 2 fucking a.m. That is
Yeah,
the
well.
problem. To be fair, that is the actual problem. It's 2
Look.
fucking a.m. to be doing these stern looks in chat, please,
Look.
everybody. Just a stern look.
sometimes things get busy. Okay, if you only knew the other things that Abe does, if you only knew. If you
What were
only
you
knew.
doing that is so important?
I'm building an empire, Emmett. Building an empire.
That's right, because yeah, it makes sense. I agree.
I know you.
I need-
You want the empire.
I want empire. I am the empire.
Welcome to the dark side, Emmett.
Yeah, I am. I
know.
am actually.
You see this? Color
Oh,
matters.
that's the crown. That's the crown.
Yes, but red and black is very symbolic. Very symbolic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he wants me to read his super chat. It says, "Kitu, keep on trucking."
yeah.
Jared, right? Emmett needs 24 cameras. Rebels are gay. A servitude for Helg.
Oh my god. And another big 5 from How Long Nate.
Go be a super simp and have family dinner.
Jeez. You freaking.
And then Elder with a good one. If I had a wife cooking dinner to him, I start making an empire.
Look. This dinner was made by my mother-in-law because she's staying with us.
Fucking yeah.
Yes, okay, look.
I can't get over that.
I'm gonna
He's
smack
not
you.
gonna be able to.
You know what? You are grounded, Emmett. You are grounded. I don't want to hear it.
I'm sorry that it's 2 fucking a.m. Okay.
Look, you're sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Like, oh, I'm gonna do the thing that everybody does. It's very normal that we do it, and then it's like 2 a.m.
Look,
It's like fucking 2 a.m.
time is an illusion, Emmett.
Sure. That is the cope. I get it. It's fine, Abe. It's fine. It's 2 a.m.
You know when I normally stream, right?
I didn't know you were streaming today. It got me by
No, I
surprise.
said you know
was
when I
looking
normally
another
stream,
show.
which is always late.
Yeah, you stream. Well, we stream late. Both of
No,
us
I'm not
stream late.
simping for my mother-in-law. It's dinner. I want to eat because I'm starving because it's 2 a.m.
Where are my fucking stern looks? Okay, Jesus Christ, I need to do it myself. I need to fucking do it myself.
Holy shit. Okay, I'm going to raid to you, Emmett. I got to set it up first, though. Hold on.
There is a stern look. Copy pasted, people.
And all of you better make sure that you like and subscribe to Emmett. You hear me? Like and subscribe to Emmett. Oh my god. Oh my god. Damn it. Damn it, Emmett. What are you doing to me?
I'm making you the dollar.
You're making me laugh, is what you're doing.
Dollar.
Wait.
Dollar.
Hold on. Now I gotta find it, because I'm brain dead, it seems.
I can't.
What? You can't what?
You were thinking, oh my god, this is gonna sound so base. I'm gonna eat dinner with my wife. Everybody's.
I wasn't thinking anything. I was saying I need to go eat dinner.
Oh, come on! Don't don't say things that
Do you really think I have hidden motives, Emmett?
Yes.
What? When have you seen me have hidden motives, Emmett? When?
Always. What you're talking about?
What are you talking about? Always.
What are you talking
when?
about?
When? Name one time.
Let me channel my freaking what is this thing? The my Canadian. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
When have you ever seen me have a hidden motive?
You always have had hidden motives. That's why you would suspend habeas corpus and stuff.
Ooh.
Mm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, now you don't know.
I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, chat.
Yeah.
God bless you all. Have an incredible night. Make sure you remind Emmett that he's grounded. Have a good night.
Like
God bless you.
Grounded and shit.
That's right. And shit. And shit. And shit.
Shit.
You're grounded in shit.
You're grounded at shit. All you gotta do is be like, yeah, you're grounded at shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Have fun at Emmett's. I will see you later.
I'm gonna leave.
Okay, fine. Leave.
Bye.
Peace.